When I was young, I thought life would always be smooth and effortless. My father's wealth created a world where I never had to worry about anything. I didn't care much about studies. I didn't think about work, and the idea of planning for the future felt unnecessary. Whatever I wanted was easily within reach. If I saw something new in a store, I only had to mention it to my father, and without hesitation, he would buy it for me. My friends sometimes warned me, telling me that life can change and that I should be prepared, but I only laughed at them. I couldn't understand why they took life so seriously. Why should I plan when my father had enough for all of us? That was my mindset, and I believed it deeply. Every day followed the same rhythm. I would wake up late, often staying in bed until someone brought me breakfast. My mornings were filled with television and endless hours of entertainment. If I felt like leaving the house, I called my friends and together we enjoyed expensive restaurants, new gadgets, and luxurious outings. We wore stylish clothes, drove fast cars, and spent money without a second thought. To me, life was like a game, and I believed I was winning it. I never questioned where the money came from or what sacrifices supported it. I lived only for the present moment. If I wanted to travel, I traveled. If I wanted new shoes, I bought them. Whenever the latest phone was released, I made sure I had it first. My father provided everything, and I never once thought about the work behind it. I didn't even ask about his business or his struggles. My comfort was all that mattered, and I believed that such a life would last forever. But then something unexpected happened. One afternoon, my father called me into his room. He sat silently, his face calm but serious. I smiled at him as usual, but he did not smile back. His eyes held a firmness I wasn't used to. For the first time, I felt nervous in front of him. He took a deep breath and said, "You're not a child anymore. You need to think about your future." I laughed lightly, brushing his words aside. "Father, why should I worry? I already have everything I need." But he shook his head and said, "You have everything because I work for it. Life is not always easy. One day, things may change." His tone unsettled me, but I refused to take it seriously. I left the room convinced that he was only being cautious for no reason. That very night, I went out with my friends again, spending freely and laughing loudly, not realizing that life was preparing to teach me a lesson I could never forget. The next morning, things began to shift. My father was waiting for me in the living room, serious again. "Sit down," he said. I told him I had plans, but he ignored my words. "You are no longer a boy. You must learn about life." I tried to dismiss him, claiming that I already knew enough, but he firmly disagreed. Then he simply said, "Come with me." Without explaining, he drove me into parts of the city I had never seen before. The streets were crowded, the buildings worn out, and the air filled with dust. He pointed to a man pushing a fruit cart and said, "Look at him. He rises before dawn, works all day, and earns just enough to feed his family. He doesn't complain, because their survival depends on him." I stayed quiet as my father's words sank in. We drove further and stopped near a small shop where an old woman sat behind a sewing machine. Her hands moved quickly, repairing clothes with steady focus. My father told me she had worked like that for decades, never earning much, but never stopping. Her face showed deep lines of age. Her hands were rough, yet she continued without complaint. Watching her stirred something in me. I had never looked at people like this, never considered their struggles. For the first time, I began to see a world beyond my own comfort. After some silence, we returned to the car, but my thoughts were restless. Images of the fruit seller and the old woman played in my mind. I realized how blind I had been, living in luxury without acknowledging the effort of others. Soon, my father stopped again, this time in front of his office. I had been there before, but only for short visits. This time, he led me inside and asked, "Do you know what I do every day?" I shrugged, replying, "You work." He nodded but pressed further. "Do you know how hard I work?" I had no answer. He explained how his days were filled with decisions, responsibilities, and countless problems. All of it, he said, was for me and our family. For the first time, I looked around and truly noticed the stress on the faces of his employees, the pace of the office, the weight of their tasks. Suddenly, the money in my pocket didn't feel so simple anymore. Then he placed a small notebook in my hands and said, "From tomorrow, you will work here." I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. He made it clear that I would start from the bottom and learn what work really meant. The following morning, my life changed. I woke up early, something I hadn't done in years. My father handed me a small lunch bag and said, "Workers bring their own food. Today, you are one of them." His words humbled me. At the office, I was introduced to Mr. William, who wasted no time. He gave me a desk, a chair, and a tall pile of papers. My task was to check numbers and mark errors. Within an hour, my head hurt and my eyes felt heavy. I longed to stop, but no one around me slowed down, so I kept going. Lunch was simple, nothing like the expensive meals I was used to. For the first time, I ate quietly, realizing that this was the reality for most people. The afternoon dragged on with more papers and more corrections. By the time the day ended, I was exhausted, but strangely, I felt different. When my father asked if I was tired, I nodded. He smiled slightly and said, "Good." And I understood what he meant. Days turned into weeks, and little by little I adapted. The work was hard, but I grew stronger. My hands moved faster, my focus improved, and I made fewer mistakes. Each small word of recognition from Mr. William felt more valuable than any luxury gift I had ever received. I began to see money differently, no longer as something to spend, but as the result of effort, time, and sacrifice. My father also looked different in my eyes. I started to notice his calm strength, his patience, and the respect others had for him. My old friends kept calling me, inviting me to restaurants and parties, but I often said no. They laughed at me for working, but I didn't feel the need to explain. I had changed, and they couldn't understand it yet. One evening, as I left the office, I saw the fruit seller again. His hands were rough, his face tired, but he smiled as he served customers. In that moment, I understood the true meaning of dignity and hard work. Months later, my father surprised me again. He handed me a small key and said, "This is your office." It wasn't big or luxurious, but it was mine. I didn't feel proud because of the size of the room, but because I had earned it. That key represented trust, responsibility, and a new chapter in my life. From then on, I wasn't just the son of a rich man. I was someone building his own path. Looking back, I laugh at the boy I used to be, the one who thought life would always be easy. Now I know the truth. Nothing worth having comes without effort. Life is not about waiting for everything to be given to you. Not wealth, but the lesson that real success is built, not inherited. And today, I am ready for the future, not because of the money I have, but because I know how to earn it.